Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have another one of those 12 by 12 inch scrapbooking papers turned into a booklet tutorial, and it was all inspired by this beautiful little package that I received from work. We got one of these each for free. And you open the box and inside is this, I think it's called a waiter wallet, you know, where you take the order down for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So I think it's really cute. Like as soon as I saw it, I thought, I can make a paper wallet out of this. So in here it's got the four corners where you can just add some paper. You've got a little pocket here where you can add some paper. And then you've got a little wallet here where I guess you can add the bills once you give the check or whatever. You could put the money in there. So I have been playing a little bit and I have made a few. Let me show you what I've done. So, as I said earlier, this is all made using 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. Some I did double-sided and some I just used the single-sided pattern, so you can see that it can be done. I'm just about to go into a swap, and I'm going to use this sort of as an embellishment folder or an ephemera folder. So I've just decorated the front here. There's a little pocket, so this is like a little page where you can put the pocket in. In here there's the little side slot, side loading pocket, and in here you've got the four corners so you can slip in whatever papers you've got. And so I've decorated these two papers. This is going to be what's going to house my ephemera that I'm swapping. So I made this little butterfly embellishment. And there's just another little paper left over for my swap partner to do with whatever she likes. So that's what that one looks like. Some I have decorated and some I haven't yet decorated. This is another one. This is a really simple design pattern paper. So once again, there is the pocket, there's the side loading pocket, here are the little papers that just go into the four corners, and this is the ephemera that I'm going to swap, although it's not finished yet. I've still got embellishments to put in there. So 1, 2. Here is another one. So this is what it looks like when you only use single-sided patterns. The inside will be just white. And it doesn't look too bad because you don't leave the majority of it white anyway. You put these papers in. So I think it looks really lovely even if you use single-sided paper. So there is the pocket here. You can put something in the side here if you want to add more cut-aparts or embellishments. And then this is what's going to hold the item for the swap. I've got a few partners, so I've made a few more here. The cool thing about using a double-sided pattern is that when you come to do the corners here, the opposite side gives you a really good, I guess, contrast. And then here's just another option. I just put the branding strip pattern here instead of the four corners. But yeah, so I've got to embellish the front, and then make the papers to go inside. So I thought I would make one final one with you, so you can see how it's done. So the paper I'm deciding to use is this one here. I think this is going to be really pretty. This is Dear Lizzie's Stargazer. And the first thing you need to do is you need to cut this down to 6 inches. And you're going to need to cut it across at 7 inches and 2/8. Okie dokes. Now the next thing you need to do is you need to score it at 3 1/2. And then flick it over and score it one more time at 3 1/2. Hey, don't mind me, I'm just scoring with a crochet needle. Alright, so this is where you're going to decide what your front and back pattern is going to be. I think that that looks really lovely. That's gorgeous. I think that's going to be my little booklet or my waiter wallet. So you're going to have this little piece left over. Remember, you cut this at 6 inches, so what you need to do is cut this at 3. Cut this so that it's 3 by 6. That's going to go nicely there. That's going to make your side loading pocket. And left over, you're going to have a little bit of left over here. Just keep that aside for now. We're going to use pretty much everything. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is you need to get you need to cut a piece of paper here for the small pocket, which is 2 inches by 3 inches wide. Alright, so that's going to sit here. And what I might do is I might flip it so that it's the opposite contrast there. And then you're going to need to have 4 squares that measure 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So go ahead and cut those up. Okay, so now this comes to your own preference. You can either choose to go ahead and glue down the sides as is, but I usually like to add some flaps, and I think it just gives it a little the ability to expand in the pocket and to utilize the entire 6-inch space instead of the glue coming in just a little bit and minimizing the size of whatever you can put in there. I like to use flaps. You can choose to use whatever is left over, or you can choose to use your branding strip. That's usually what I save my branding strips for. I like to use them to make the flaps. So go ahead and cut 2 3-inch like strips, and all you do is just fold them somewhat evenly, and they're just going to go here on the side. And having said that, I usually end up just running some glue along the long side here. I don't put a flap along the long side. It doesn't matter if how deep the pocket is affected just a little bit. It's just the sides that I usually put a flap on. Now I will warn you, when you use your choose your double-sided pattern paper, is not to make it directional. I seriously believe that directional paper is advanced crafting, and sometimes it comes back to like haunt me. So be warned. Use non-directional paper or really simple patterns in your double-sided pattern paper. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So this is going to be the pocket here. This piece of paper is for the front pocket here. And once again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose, so 2 inches. And then once again, I'm not going to put a flap on the long end, just the 2 short ends. Oh, so you see what I did there? I just put it on the wrong side, which means I'm not going to have that contrast which I wanted. Drats. Okay, I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to turn in the sides here and make it 3 inches. Okay, so I'm going to adapt as I go. So I've added the flaps on the wrong side here, and I really did want it to make it contrasty. So I'm just going to flip in the flaps here and then put that down like that. So sometimes I can catch myself before the glue doesn't stick down. Like adventurous crafting. There you go. So that looks good. This will have to be used for another project, I think. Okay, so coming to your 4 corners here, all you're going to do is go from one diagonal to one diagonal. That's that one, and that's that one. And this is really important here, don't stuff this up, to make it so that the 4 corners, that you can slip paper into the 4 corners, I want you to only put the glue on 2 sides, alright? So 1, 2, and the long diagonal way, that's what you're not going to put glue on. And then you're just going to line it up here with that little score mark, and then you're going to add it. So what I do is I hold it along the long edge and just apply glue to the 2 to remind myself not to add glue on the 3rd edge. That one. That's looking really good. I love the contrast. That's what the booklet looks like. Now let's go to the front here. You've got 2 more squares left over. Do the same with this, so go from diagonal to diagonal, and once again from diagonal to diagonal. And with this one, because this is just going to go on for pretty purposes, you're going to add it all down. But this is what I mean when I say the directional paper. So it kind of looks like it doesn't go, right? So you are going to have to be a little bit careful at times what you choose. Sometimes you can make it work, like at least the stripes are all going horizontally, so that works alright. So with this one you can just add to all of them, to the whole, like all 3 sides. And that lines up like that. And that is how simple it is to make this paper wallet. Now, so the next thing we need to do now is make the papers that are going to go in here. So you're going to need to cut, I did 1 paper here and 2 papers here. That's what's left with this little piece here. This is all you've got left. Well, you'd have that as well. So we're going to go 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that fits here. And this is where, you know, directionally, one more time, you're going to have to be careful. So if we wanted it to be this direction, we'd have to cut it this way. Okay, so for this one, for the papers on the right hand side, they're going to be 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. So, and you have just enough length to tuck in to each of the corners, just like that. There you go. You can have a few leftovers to add a little bit of embellishments and put them in here. That is basically your little waiter wallet created. If you want to stay tuned, I'm going to decorate this one to show you some ideas of what can be done with the decoration.